What's up, what's up, what's up? This is B Roots back at it again with another tutorial, but this time it is all about the Nano Ledger S. This is by far the most underrated yet most important device in all of cryptocurrency. So you might be thinking, why should I pay $100 for a Nano Ledger S? And there's one reason why. It's a main reason, and it's a no-brainer to get your Nano Ledger S. The Nano Ledger S is a USB port that holds your private key to all your cryptocurrencies. When you go on Binance, when you go on Coinbase, Bittrex, Gemini, no matter what it is that you use to exchange and purchase your cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency exchange owns your private key. They basically own your cryptocurrency. They are no different than a bank. If they get hacked, if they just disappear and do an exit scam and leave, you are out of all of your cryptocurrencies. You do not want to leave your cryptocurrencies on the exchange for that exact reason. You own your cryptocurrency. You own your money. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the decentralized market. So you want to get yourself a Nano Ledger S. All of the links for this video is all down in the description button. Please use those links. Do not buy your Nano Ledger S on eBay. Do not buy your Nano Ledger S from some random person on the streets. Reason why is they can hack this Nano Ledger S. Anyone can hack it. The only place you want to get this Nano Ledger S is from the Nano Ledger S website. Click on the link below to get to that website. If you try to go on any other cryptocurrency website to get yourself a Nano Ledger S, you're putting yourself in danger. So first, I would like to thank Nano Ledger S for sponsoring this video. They sent me this free one so I can make a video for you and explain and show you how you can get a Nano Ledger S and get yourself started and saving your cryptocurrency the right way. So let's get started. So when you click on the link below, it's going to bring you to the Nano Ledger S website. So when you click buy now, it's going to show you that there you can buy it for $99.99. That is the Nano Ledger S USB. You can also buy the blue version. Now the difference between the USB and the blue version, it's kind of like a mini iPad. Little device. It's touchscreen. It's a little more flashy, no pun intended. However, that price point is $269.99. So it's great if you have a hard time of seeing. If you feel that you're going to lose a USB all the time and you want something just a little more bigger, you can get the Nano Ledger Blue. You can still follow this tutorial. It's going to be no different. However, for this tutorial, we're going to do the Nano Ledger S with the USB. So when you go to click, you can buy one, two, you can buy some for family, you can buy some for Christmas, however many you want. It's going to be $99.99 each. You hit add to cart. Once again, let's say one, $99.99. Go to checkout. Type in your shipping address, credit card information, and buy it. That's how you buy the Nano Ledger S. So you finally got your Nano Ledger S in the mail. You're excited. You know that you're now no longer in risk of Binance or Coinbase or Bittrex or any of all those other cryptocurrency exchanges potentially getting hacked in the future. You can now store your own cryptocurrency. So what we do is we unbox it. So first we're going to unbox this and take everything out of it. I'm going to show you everything that comes with it. Once again, like I said, do not buy it from anywhere else. When you open up your Nano Ledger S, it should look like this. It's nicely engraved, showing you what you have. So when you take that out, you're going to have your USB port. You're going to have a set of instructions. It's going to give you notifications, basically. No anti-tampering sticker on this box. It's a mechanism, checks the integrity of your Nano Ledger's internal software each time it's powered on. So the secure element chip prevents any interception or physical replacement attempt. Ledger devices are engineered to be tamper-proof. Like I said, by far the most important device you could possibly have on cryptocurrency. So it's going to give you some instructions. You're 100% going to need a recovery sheet. So these recovery sheets I'll go on later in this video. It actually gives you 3 recovery sheets just in case you decide to reset it. So those are going to be important. It also gives you a USB. This is what you use to connect to your computer to power on your Nano Ledger S. Also, if needed, it gives you a little hangy little thing that if you want to like just attach it to anything. I don't use it personally. I just put my USB in the desk. And then also a device to clip on your keychain. That's unboxing and everything that you're going to get in the Nano Ledger S box. Now we are going to download all the specific programs and apps that we need to run our Nano Ledger S safely. If you click on the link below where it says Get Started, it'll take you to the Ledger Live web page. Now you can do this whether you have a Mac or whether you have a Windows computer. I'm working with a Mac computer, so you're going to see me use the Mac way. In the end, when you download it, whether you have Mac or Windows, when you download it, it's going to give you the same look, so you can still follow along. So for example, I have a Mac. I'm going to click on Mac. If you have Windows, you can click on Windows. So I have a Mac. I'll click there. That's going to bring up the little download page right there onto the left-hand corner. As that downloads, we wait for that to download. We are then going to bring up the Ledger Live account. So as I click on that, it's going to install it onto my computer. So now we have the application. You click on the application, whether you have, like I said, a Mac or a Windows computer. Click on the application, and it's going to bring you to this Welcome to Ledger Live welcome screen. What we're going to do now is get started with the Ledger Live. So we're going to click on Get Started. And then we want to initialize a new Ledger device. So this welcome screen allows you to restore the device if you need to reset it. Use one that's already initialized. So if you have a new computer and you want to reset their old device onto a new computer or a second computer, you can do that. Or, we have the Ledger Live device, so we can skip right over that. So for this tutorial, we're going to initialize a new Ledger device. Now it's going to allow us to select our code, select our device. It's either going to be the Nano Ledger S or the Ledger Blue. Whatever one you got, you click which one you decide to buy. For this tutorial, we're going to do the Ledger Nano S. And then you hit continue. Now you have to connect your Nano Ledger S to the computer. I'm going to get off the computer and we're going to show you how to do that next. So as you can see on the screen, it's asking you to choose your PIN code. So what you'll want to do is you'll take the USB, connect this part to the actual device. It's going to be at the edge of the USB port. You put that in there. It'll look like that. And then you're going to take this part and connect it to the USB port of your computer. So I'm going to do that now. This will power on your device. So to begin, it's going to ask you to push both buttons to begin. So click it at the same time. And it says, with Nano Ledger S, side buttons are used to interact and control the user interface. Use the left and the right buttons to change values and navigate through multiple choice lists. Press both buttons if you wish to confirm, continue, or open an application. To begin configuration, press both buttons. So basically, what it is if I want to move up or down, you use the single buttons. If I want to hit enter and click into it, you click on them at the same time. That's all it is. Up, down, down, up, enter. That's what I want to use. So to get started, I'm going to hit enter. That's both buttons at the same time. So it wants us to configure as a new device. The check mark means, is this button right here? That means yes. No is this button. So you hit X. So we want to configure the new device. So I am going to hit the check mark button. Now we have to choose a PIN code. Once a PIN code is chosen, this is what is used in order to open up this device. You cannot open a device up if you forget your PIN code. So you'll have to reset the whole device in order to do that. So choose a PIN code that you will not forget. So to choose the PIN code and go further in the screen, we're going to hit both at the same time. So let's choose a PIN code. I'm going to choose a very easy one. It's going to be 1. As you can see, down we'll hit this button. If you want to go up, you just hit that button. To enter it, once again, you hit both of them at the same time. So the PIN code is going to be 1. We'll go down. 2. 3. And 4. So that's our PIN code, and I'm going to scroll down to the check mark. Now you can continue your PIN code if you want. Just stick with a 4-digit PIN code. You hit the check mark next, and then you enter. Confirm your PIN code, so it's going to ask you to re-enter it again. Okay. 1, enter. 2, enter. 3, enter. 4, enter. Check mark. Enter. Now, the next thing is going to be writing down the recovery phrase. Allow me to speak a little about this right now. Now this is where they give you these 3 little cards. These are extremely, extremely important. If you lose your recovery phrase, you lose everything. It's gone. If you say you lost your USB, you lose your recovery phrase, your Bitcoin, your cryptocurrency, it's gone. You're never going to get it back. That is the downside, but that's what we're trying to change in the world today. For example, this is your vault. So it's a list of 24 words. It takes all the words in the dictionary and it mumble jumbles it up into one big code. However, if you lose these 24 words and you lose your device, there's absolutely no way to get your money back. So this recovery phase needs to be hidden in a certain spot. Personally, what I do, I go to the bank, I get myself a little vault box, and I put it in there. It's cost $60 a year for me to do that. That's all. I also have a backup buried somewhere in my neighborhood. So I know that this is the key to all my cryptocurrency if I were ever to lose that USB. So, this is very important, the recovery phrase. Do not lose this. When you write it down and set up your Nano Ledger S, the one thing you do not want to do is lose your recovery phrase. Now let's get going. So now we're going to take our recovery sheet, and it's a confidential document, and you want to store it in a safe place, as it says on the sheet. And I'll have you a little card with a list of 24 words. So your device is going to generate a 24-word recovery phrase to back up your private keys. Make sure you copy the word displayed below word number 1 in the position of word number 1. Same thing. If it's word number 2, put it in word number 2. Make sure you do this in order. If you put these words out of order, it's going to mess up your code and your phrase and your public key. So all that stuff has to be done in order. So in order to confirm it, we're going to go on the device. It's going to say right here, write down your recovery phrase. So here we go. Word number 1 is going to be toe. And once again, everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have different words. But this is what you're going to write your word down. So mine is toe. Your next word, Latin. Latin. And make sure you spell it right, guys. If you spell it wrong, you're screwed. Word number 3, measure. Word number 4, fish. 5, early. 6, cancel. 7, neither. 8, dad. 9, boat. 10, life. 11, near. 12, voice. 13, mean. 14, enemy. 15, business. 16, marine. 17, fox. 18, slab. 19, crystal. 20, leaf. 21, kick. 22, stomach. 23, page. 24, trap. So there it is. We wrote all our words down, and we're going to hit enter. So we're going to confirm our recovery phrase. So it's asking you confirm word number 1. Word number 1 is toe. So we're going to look for toe. Right there. Enter. Word number 2 is Latin. So we're going to look for Latin. Right there. Enter. 3 is measure. Enter. 4 is fish. So basically we're just confirming it, saying, hey, we wrote everything down. 5 is early. So what you see, what we're doing is just confirming everything. So it wants to say, hey, we want to make sure you wrote everything down. And this is very important because if you just go through just go through everything, it wants to make sure that you're doing everything correctly, because they don't want you to be liable for, you get some people that are very impatient, and that's not good. You do not want to rush this, trust me. And you just go through all this all the way down, and then I'll bring you back into it once everything's all finished. So once finished, you'll see that it's going to process all your information. Your device is now ready to use. So you enter. And now it's going to ask you to install the different pages on your device. And we'll click on to continue, and it's going to bring us to this little screen of our settings. Next, let's get started and let's install our certain apps. So once that's done, we click, let me go back real second, get back to where we were at. We got our recovery phrase written down. Everything's done correctly. Now we're going to go through our security checklist just to make sure everything was done correctly. So we're going to hit the continue button, and it's going to ask you a question. It's going to ask you, did you choose your PIN code by yourself? And wants to make sure that you are the one that's going to remember that PIN code. So you hit yes. Did you save your recovery phrase by yourself? It's going to ask you. We just went over. We saved that recovery phrase. We wrote it down. Everything is good. So we click yes. And is your ledger device genuine? So that's the next thing. It's going to ask you to check now. So once you go, what you're going to do is you're going to plug your ledger back in, and you're going to let it check it. So let's allow it to check it real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit check now. So what it's doing is connecting to the device, just making sure everything's correct. And then what's going to happen is it's going to show on your USB, when it gets to this part of it, it's going to, you look on your USB, it's going to say allow ledger manager to connect to your device. Hit the check mark button. When that's done, once connected to the computer, it's going to connect it, and everything's going to say your device is genuine. I'm going to hit continue. Now we want to have a password lock. I highly recommend to do this. Doesn't matter what it is, what the password is, be as secure as possible. And continue. And then once that's done, hit continue. And congratulations, you now have a Nano Ledger S. That's everything's done right, everything's correct. Like I said, take that recovery phrase and go hide it somewhere. This is the best way to save your cryptocurrency. Now let's dig a little deeper into this and let's get some apps going. So now we're going to add some apps to our device. This is going to allow us to store and check some of the apps you can store on the device, and allow us to send and receive from the device. A lot of things that a lot of people get mixed up on, they say, hey, we want to store 50 different coins onto our USB port. This can't be done. There's only about 4, and maybe if you're lucky, 5 currencies you can actually have stored on your Nano Ledger S. However, don't think just because you send it to the ledger and you delete it off your ledger, it will not do anything. Everything is saved to the address and to the key of the device. So just because you only have 4 that's listed on the device, and you'll know what I'm talking about here in a bit, does not mean all your cryptocurrencies are gone. You can only just store it on the device, but you also have it onto your ledger live. So let me kind of give you a pure example. So Manager, we're going to download some apps here. We're going to connect our device again, plug it in. Once your USB, I'm going to type in my PIN code if it asks me for it. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever it asks me, allow the manager on your device. Once again, you hit the check button on your USB port, and it's going to bring it up here. So we can see all the different applications that you're going to see that's going to allow us to download. So you can download all those applications. Once again, you only can store 4 on the actual USB, but this is like your Binance. You know how you go on Binance and you scroll and you have all those different coins that you can add or transfer? This is your own personal Binance. It's your wallet. You control the key. You control everything. So let's say I want to install a Bitcoin version of this. So allow that to install. And then what it's going to do is it's going to install it onto your Nano Ledger S. And when you see that, Bitcoin is now installed in your Nano Ledger S, look down at your device. There's Bitcoin. So let's say I want to install XRP. It's going to install it onto the device. Look down at your Nano Ledger S, it's going to show it's processing. Scroll to your right, and there's XRP. Let's say I want to add Ethereum. Let's install Ethereum onto it. It's going to install Ethereum onto it. Look down at your USB. It should say processing. And once it's installed on there, scroll to your right. It'll say Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. You can close out of that. You can do that to any one of these coins that you have on there. Now let's say I want to delete it. Now remember, if I send Bitcoin to this address, don't worry. It's still in your quote unquote Binance. Like, you know, this is your Binance. This is your cryptocurrency exchange. All you're doing is adding and deleting it off of the actual USB, but it's still in your account. Don't worry that if you delete it, that you lost it forever. No, you did not lose it forever. It's still in your account. This is your account right here. So say you go to your portfolio, you go to your manager, it brings it back up, and I'll show you everything that's installed onto your thing. So if I wanted to delete it, I can just hit the trash can button and it'll delete it off of my ledger. So there you go. So now let's show you how to send and receive out of that certain cryptocurrency. So now that we have our certain cryptocurrencies that we want installed on our Nano Ledger S, now let's add the apps. So when you go to your portfolio up here, you want to click on Add Accounts. So when you click on Add Accounts and you click on the scroll button, it shows you all the different cryptocurrencies that you can add on to your account so that you're able to send and receive that certain cryptocurrency. So if you plan on buying it, add it. So let's start off with Bitcoin, the big boy. We're going to hit Bitcoin and we're going to hit Continue. Now your device is already connected to your computer, so it'll automatically go through its phases to check it on, make sure it's on there. So what you're going to do is you open that Bitcoin app on your ledger and hit Continue. What it's going to do is it's going to synchronize with your Nano Ledger S, and it's going to ask you to name the account. I'm going to leave it as Bitcoin 1, and I'm going to hit this button. I'm going to hit Add Account. So it's going to confirm everything, and if you want to add more, let's say we want to add XRP. Click on it, hit XRP, continue. Then what's going to ask you to do is go on your account on your phone, or excuse me, not your phone, your Nano Ledger S, and go into XRP. So you go back to the menu, scroll over to XRP, hit the double button of the XRP to enter, and then it's going to go into there. Continue, and it's going to add XRP. You can have as many different XRP accounts, many different Bitcoin account addresses you want. Like I said, you're creating your own exchange when you're using this. So now you have your certain one. Let's say we want to click on Bitcoin. Obviously, we don't have any Bitcoin to send because I haven't put anything in there yet. However, you can receive Bitcoin. So you can go on your Coinbase or your Binance or whatever you want to do and receive Bitcoin. So when you hit receive, it's going to give you, go back through it. It's going to say, hey, open the Bitcoin app on your device. You go on your device, hit Bitcoin. It's going to pop up. You hit continue. Then it's going to verify the address on your account. So what you see that's going to show up on the screen is the exact address that should show up on your Nano Ledger S. They must match. If they do not match, that means someone has hacked into your computer and you do not want to send your Bitcoin to that address. So it's just a verification program for Nano Ledger S to say, hey, this is the address that you're going to create and use, so we want to make sure everything's verified. So I'm going to hit verify. And this address right here should be scrolling on your Nano Ledger S right now. So look now at your Nano Ledger S. Make sure it is the exact address that it shows right there. If it does, hit the check mark on your Nano Ledger S. Once you hit the check mark on your Nano Ledger S, it's going to pop up there and it's going to say, congratulations, your Bitcoin address has been confirmed. Please verify that address. Copy and paste it. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is your Nano Ledger S address. You can give that to anybody you please because that can't be stolen. They can't take your Bitcoin. That's just your regular address. So when you go on to Binance or when you go on to Coinbase, when you go on to wherever you want to go into, you can now click and use that address, and when the money comes in, that's where it'll show up at. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do a simple transaction to this address to show you exactly how it's done. I'm going to do it through Coinbase, and I'm going to send it to this address, and I'm going to show you how it shows up into your Nano Ledger S. And then that will be it. It's a very simple process once it's done. So let's go over to Coinbase. Now that we're in our Coinbase account, we're going to show you how to send money over to your Nano Ledger S. So we now have our Nano Ledger S Bitcoin wallet address, or whatever, XRP, Ethereum, whatever you want to use. We now have that in our possession. So now that we have that address, we want to take that address and send some Bitcoin or whatever you choose to use to that address and to that Nano Ledger S. So what I'm going to do go in my Coinbase, or go to your Binance, or go to your Bittrex, or go to your BitMEX, no matter what it is, you click on send that Bitcoin or that cryptocurrency to the address that you have created on your Nano Ledger S. So once again, we have that address which we created right here. I'm going to copy that address. I'm going to go over here. We're doing with Coinbase, so I'm going to go into Coinbase. I'm going to go into my accounts. Like I said, once again, it could be Binance, it could be whatever it is. You go to that cryptocurrency and you hit send. You want to send some Bitcoin or whatever the cryptocurrency you want to that address that you populated. You only send Bitcoin to Bitcoin. You only send Ethereum to Ethereum. You only send XRP to XRP. That's not a one address all said all. You have to create your own address for each individual cryptocurrency. So it'll ask me to enter that BTC address. Like I said, that same BTC address is the same in my ledger live. It's this right here, this address right here. So click onto that. I'm going to paste that address in there. I'm going to go here and I'm going to say send the max that I have in there. I just put a little $10, a little bit money in there. And I hit continue. Once I hit continue, it asks for my two-step verification code. I'm going to type that in there here. Let's see here. Is 1, 2, 8, 0, 4. Now confirm. So there it is. The transaction is on its way. And there we have it. You have sent Bitcoin to your Nano Ledger S. So as you can see, the money is now in there. It's showing you the amount of Bitcoin I now have in my Nano Ledger S. That's the 0.001423319, which equals out to $8.87 worth of Bitcoin. And that money was sent to my Nano Ledger S. Now, as I received money and I sent money off the exchanges and took it off the exchanges, is now in my hands, and they get hacked. It doesn't matter because it's in my own Ledger S USB account. However, let's say you want to send money back to the exchanges and get your money put in your USD. Or you want to swing trade some money. You feel like the market's going down, so therefore you want to cash out and put it into a stable coin. You have to go back into the exchanges in order to do that. You cannot do that through the Nano Ledger. So in order to do that, we now have to send the money back to the exchange. So just as you receive the Bitcoin address on the Nano Ledger S, you need to get your exchange address for that certain cryptocurrency on the exchange. How do you do that? When you go on the exchange, you hit receive. It's going to give you an address. What you do is you take that address and you hit send here on the live account. It's going to ask you for the recipient address. Once again, Bitcoin to Bitcoin only, XRP to XRP only, etc. I'm going to send it to this address. I am then going to put the amount of Bitcoin I would like to send. So my fees, I want to put in low fees. I want to send 0.0014. And right here, it'll show you the amount of debit that I have left. That's after fees. 0, 9. Oh, the legs went up. 0.14. 0, 9, 7, 6. And I'm going to hit continue. It's going to ask you to connect to your device. So I'm going to connect to the device. I'm going to look at it on my device. I'm going to type in my PIN code. And then I'm going to open up the Bitcoin address, the Bitcoin app on your device. And there it is. Hit continue. So it's going to ask you to verify the transaction. So you look down at your Ledger S right now. It should show you how much Bitcoin is sending and the address you are sending it to. Just like previously, you want to verify that's the exact address that you sent it to and the amount of Bitcoin you want to send it to. Once that's done, you hit the check button on your Nano Ledger S. And what's going to happen? Transaction sent. So we sent the money out of the account. As you see, it says 0 now, and you're going to put it into the amount that it asked, into the account that it asked you to put it into. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You just sent and you received Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you're in into the Nano Ledger S. So there you have it. Your Nano Ledger S. Now you know how to send, you know how to receive, you know how to set up your Nano Ledger S and send and receive money. You can do everything with it now. This video shows you everything from the beginning all the way to the end and everything that you need to do. You are now successfully a cryptocurrency owner because you're doing it the right way. You're not leaving it on exchanges to be hacked. You're not just carelessly throwing away your money. You are storing it in a very, very, very safe place. Please don't forget that recovery phrase. Hide that in a secret place. Make sure that does not get lost or stolen, because whenever you need to recover your USB or whenever you need to get a new one or whenever something happens, life happens, you have yourself covered with that recovery phrase. Please, if this video was very helpful for you, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Because if someone says, I don't have nowhere to put my cryptocurrency, if you hear someone say, oh, all my money is on Binance, show them this video, because you will save them a lot. What good is it to do? Put your hard-earned money in the cryptocurrency just to lose it. Don't be careless with your money. So, with that said, I will end with this. As always, this is Roots. You like the t-shirt, don't you? Beavis and Butthead, one of the best cartoons of all time, is signing out.